always appreciate the analysis that Dr. Gerald Horne is able to offer and provide on so many different topics. Read one of his books so far. I think he's been the author of 40. The one I read was The Counter-Revolution of 1776. Just got done listening to part of an interview he did with Jadal English, link below, about the 2024 presidential election results here in the belly of the beast in the United States. Look at this lighting though. 1 o'clock in the morning, finishing up a shift. Anyways, a little out of it, as you can imagine. It's late. And one of the things that Dr. Horne said during this interview was a key component of the settler colonial project that is the U.S. has always been class collaboration, and this was evident on November 5th. So what Dr. Horne was meaning by that is the working class, particularly as he described them, of the Euro-American background, working class, European folks, background folks, collaborating with the 1% or the bourgeoisie or the capitalist class, whatever term nomenclature you like to use, vis-a-vis working class European Americans voting for Trump because they think incorrectly that Trump will somehow serve their interest once in power. But we saw Trump's first term, he was completely out to serve his own class interest, the capitalist class interest, the billionaires, those who own the means of production. There's a reason why the CEO of BlackRock, was it Steven Schwartzman, I believe their name is supporting Trump. That's why after Trump was elected, the stonks went way up. Who owns the vast majority of stonks? The people at the very top of the economic ladder. So they think business will be good for them. That does not mean there will be any type of benefits trickling down to the working class. That doesn't exist. That's not a real thing. That's a fugazi. That's a fairy tale. So that class collaboration is as American as apple pie, and that is why people, no matter their, ethnic or any other type of identities they may have, if you don't actually have a real material and historical analysis, as Lyndon said, if you don't have a concrete analysis of the concrete conditions, you can have salespeople, con artists like Trump espousing that, racist, populist, xenophobic rhetoric, thinking that he is somehow on the side of the working people, European American or otherwise, when in fact he supports policies that will be very much detrimental to those same class collaborators that helped get him into office. So, and also Horne pointed out, is very revealing who Trump's favorite president was, which is Andrew Jackson, who's as Horne said, his ugly face is on the $20 bill, that of Jackson's. And Andrew Jackson had a very aggressive and genocidal policy towards the indigenous, and the class collaboration came into play there because the working class Euro-Americans supported Jackson because, Jackson was out there talking all this trash about the indigenous, and then actions followed as a result. And the Euro-Americans thought, well, better them than us, and these policies will at least benefit us. So we'll look the other way and we'll support this, rich asshole, Jackson. And very much the same parallel between Trump, now the billionaire, 100-millionaire, and yet somehow so many working class folks in the U.S. are duped to believe that Trump is actually going to serve their interests and not the interest of the 0.01% or the owning class or the billionaire class. Pretty interesting. And obviously, the class collaborator label, if Harris had gotten into office, you could say the same thing about Harris, but obviously Harris had a lot more African American support. I think Horne said only 15% of black folks that voted for Trump. The other 85 voted for Democrats. But just the working class voting for their own exploitation by either supporting Democrats or Republicans, because they lack that class. A lot of people lack that class analysis, lack that historical and material analysis of what's actually going on, and they believe the hype and propaganda and slick messaging, and they're not able to really dig down into any substance to anchor them with any type of concise and clear analysis on the situation at hand. So anyways, class collaboration, a key factor, key component of the settler colonial project here in the United States. And Horne also pointed out, I'll end it on this, that one of the reasons he thinks Jackson is Trump's favorite president because of how Jackson, manifest destiny, there's a loud sound, kicked out or ethnically cleansed, right? Genocidal campaign against the indigenous to give that land to the white European settlers to benefit them. And Trump's and his campaign have used all this rhetoric about wanting to deport millions of people, and that would somehow benefit the working class collaborators that have helped put Trump into office, which again, you have to have a very ahistorical and analysis that isn't based in current and the current reality and the historical context of politics and politicians in the U.S. to think that a Republican candidate is going to implement policies that actually benefit the working class in any substantial way, when all Trump's policies are attempting to do is place blame everywhere but where it needs to be, which is having a class analysis, a material understanding that the material conditions continue to deteriorate in the U.S., not because of immigrants, some of the most vulnerable and marginalized people and populations amongst us, or because of the great big bad People's Republic of China. No, it's because of the capitalist class who holds the vast majority of the wealth that they have gotten through exploiting the working folks here. So it's, trying to do this magic trick to trick people and to not see what's actually going on right in front of their faces, right? Anyways, just some thoughts. Peace. Much love. All part of the people.